Hello everybody, Daniel here, Onion Game 64 or CivilOnion, based upon how you know me from this channel. You'll know me as the last option. This is Civilization 5 Brave New World. It's the new expansion released by Firaxis. And what I have done, I have rolled at random one of the new empires and I have ended up with Maria the First of Portugal. What we're going to do is investigate the new things about the expansion pack. One very subtle and rather boring thing is that if you notice where it says begin your journey, the writing and the box is a different colour to Gods and Kings. Gods and Kings it was blue and the box is now green. More important things will no doubt have been changed, but let's start with who we've got. We've got Portugal, and their ability revolves around having extra gold from trading. Trading doesn't work in the same way it used to, how it just went across a road and that was it. Works in a much more diverse way, I've been told, or at least I have been informed of to some degree. I actually don't know very much at all about the changes in this game, but I'm certain that is one they've changed a lot. The unique unit is a caravel with an extra movement point and the ability to receive gold and experience from a different city, that one you don't possibly own. Go do it once though, so that'll be a way of balancing it out. The unique improvement is effectively a type of fort that you put in the city-state's land once you've got navigation, so it's quite a late game, or at least mid-game building, and it allows you to effectively clone the luxury resources of the city-state and have them for yourself, but you can't trade them. Also gives a defensive bonus, but that's not particularly useful, I wouldn't have thought, if you're putting it in a city-state. So let's begin, and let's have a look at where we are on the map. We're surrounded by deserts, so obviously petrol will be a high priority tech, presumably if it is the same as it is before. We've also got marble, and we've got incense that's not by itself on a desert. I mean, we do have one of those, but usually it's desert stuff only, so that's not too bad. Settling on this hill would not be a bad idea. I know we'd be wasting forest, but it would give us an extra production point. So I think we'll do that. One thing I've noticed already, the gold yield is different. It used to be that tiles on rivers used to give a gold per turn. Not in this case by the looks of it. So they must really have tightened up the gold system so you can't just abuse settling on rivers as a way of making income. There's a new unit there, the caravan in animal husbandry, but we'll ignore that for now. And instead we'll go the standard way to writing. Few techs have changed. For example, bronze working, you can now reveal iron with it rather than with iron working. Not sure if that will change the normal ploy of building the Great Library and getting iron working for free. Not sure, we shall see. I bet some of the buildings, some of the wonders have changed their use as well. Let's see, later on in the game, let's go one step at a time. Let's start by working this incense. That is a good idea, get our population up. And let's click next turn. I don't know who the AI we're with is. I've not made it so it's all the new people. It might be some new, some old. It might be all new. It might be all old. Don't know. There's truffles up here. That is something I do know. And they have definitely nerfed ocean tiles because I'm pretty certain fish always used to give gold as well as food. Ruins. Excellent. And more incense, and that's more rubbish incense. That's just desert incense, hence it's only giving the 2 gold. What are we going to get for our ruin? 60 culture points. That's pretty good. Just noticed there's a briefcase up here. That's tourism. The culture victory has definitely been changed. It used to be ridiculously difficult in this game, where you'd have to only have a very small number of cities and you'd get dwarfed by everybody, frankly. And you just have to be lucky from there. Got a city-state. Oh, Panama City. That is a new city-state. Obviously, because of the new empires, some of the cities aren't going to be available anymore. I'm guessing Jakarta isn't going to be a city-state anymore. I'm guessing that'll be part of the Indonesian Empire. And I'm guessing Rio de Janeiro will be part of the Brazilian one, for example. Panama is maritime, which is good. We like that. What type of personality is it? Neutral. That's not bad. And that's the end of the land, so we're not going to research further that way. We must be right on the edge of the Pangaea, right on the west coast by the looks of it. Not a big issue if we temporarily upset Panama. People may be always also interested to know that I will be doing a sort of guide for Civilization 5 down the line. Hopefully not too far down the line, but I know a lot of people that watch this will probably be saying to themselves, what on earth is he doing? I don't understand any of it. To be fair, it's quite a difficult game to learn at first, but if you watch somebody else do it and they explain it like I intend to as we go along, hopefully it won't be too bad. And that is not the guide I wanted next door to me on a game like this. Greece, very hostile. Something they have changed is that you can't just get gold off people unless you're friends with them now. Which I think the AI are going to abuse to death because, well, let's face it, all the AI tends to do when they're friends with you is steal all your gold. We got a map and it didn't really show us anything. Now apparently the AI is a lot better than it used to be. So what I am hoping is not going to happen right now is Greece gets ridiculously aggressive and hostile and then just beats me up. Because in Gods and Kings that would be very much the... Oh, we found someone. I think they might be new. Because I do not recognise that colour combination. I was kind of hoping there'd be nobody up here. Yes, Azur. The Assyrians. Don't know anything about them historically, so don't ask me. All I know is I quite like his dress toga based arrangement. That's pretty cool. He's also challenging quite a few of the great men of the past for who has the best beard. I quite like that colour combination, you know. But anyway, let's not dwell on that and dwell more on the fact that we must have people ruddy close because Greece found us very, very early. He's not that far away, and the land is quite snaky. Oh, hang on. This is a very weird shaped pan. Unless, is this a giant lake? Huh. Interesting questions already. They've changed the social policies tree. It's a lot more complicated now by the looks of it. I'm guessing most of these are similar. But one thing I have noticed is that you could, for example, have piety and rationalism now at the same time. How cool is that? Okay. I'm going to kind of ignore all of that for now and go with the regular plan. Get tradition first. I do know one thing is that certain buildings, certain wonders can only be built if you have the social policy tree open. I think from tradition you get access to the hanging gardens. Don't quote me on that. I should have checked. Let's check in fact. Yep, hanging gardens for tradition. Liberty lets you build the pyramids. Honor lets you build the statue of Zeus. Piety lets you build the great mosque of Dien. And etc, etc. I'm guessing a lot of these have that type of thing, but we don't have to worry about most of them right now because we're right at the start of the game. And I don't want to scare you all with how much information this game has. One thing I have noticed is that the barbarians have a custom icon. Now if you look at the bottom where it says processing turns blah blah blah, I believe the barbarians have their own unique image for that now. All these subtle changes that very sad people like me notice. And no, before people ask, I've really not been paying much attention with regards to updates to this game and news and information on it. What I had hoped was that I'd get sponsored by Yaush to do an LP of it for Yaush Alliance, but that never materialised. So I'm doing this on my own channel. Not complaining about that. I'm very much looking forward to doing it, as I am now, but you might see an LP of this sort of game in the future on that channel. You never know. I'll let you know, obviously, in due course if that is the case. We've got a second population now. Could put it on the sheep. Let's not. Let's leave it on the marble. Another 2 food, 2 gold tile. It'll give, unlike the incense, though, that will give production if you work it, from what I remember. Doesn't really matter what we build because we're not going to build it. We're just going to do it for 3 turns until we have pottery, and then we're going to build probably a granary, I would guess. Fish down there, nothing really much else of interest. We've ended up on a... I know this is a Pangaea map, but it doesn't really look like one, does it? Usually Pangaeas are rather pressed, meaning all the land is quite solid. I mean, you get the odd lake, but
shall the clay say to him that
not a huge amount with regards to massive lakes, but never mind. Right, we will go for, let's just check these are the same. Let's go for a granary. I'm not going to prioritise getting a religion in this game for the simple reason that religion is something that was added in Gods and Kings rather than Brave New World, and I'd rather try and show the new things. Even if we end up losing the game, I'd rather try and show you some new things. I'm glad I didn't try and pronounce that guy's name that we met second, by the way. Yes. A Sherbani pal or something like that. Like I said, I don't know historically who that even is, unfortunately. I may like Civ games, but that does not make me a history buff, unfortunately.